Hey, Shalom, I want to start with those by giving no praise to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Rakwa, Qudash, double honors to the apostles of GMS, and honestly, brothers doing the work in truth with sincerity. This one's inspired by something one of the older brothers in our camp said. He's basically saying, he will be doing certain things, but back of his mind, he's just thinking, where's Satan, right? And the first scripture that comes to mind, he said this a while back, but I'm doing the video now, right? But the first scripture that comes to mind when when you hear that is 1 Peter 5:8, right? It says, be sober, be vigilant, right? Because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour, right? So basically, always be on the lookout for Satan, man. Where's Satan in this shit, man? Because Satan is there, right? Sometimes you'll be on your own mind, you won't even realize it, right? You be doing something and you won't even realize it's Satan fucking on your mind, right? So you always got to be sober and be vigilant, right? Always basically on the lookout, right? Sort of like, sorry to use this analogy, but you get, in London, especially, obviously you have it in the States as well. Well, in London, especially of late, one of the things they've been talking about, is all this, this gangsterism, these urbanism, as the captain likes to call it, these urbanisms going on, where you basically see these niggas, these young niggas killing each other over postcodes and all of that, right? So using that analogy, when one of those young brats are on a rival postcode, they're always on the lookout to see, shit, where them man saying, where them man at? Because them man there, they if they see me right now, they gonna kill me, right? And that's the thing with Satan. Satan's saying, man, you give Satan a chance, right? You leave yourself open, Satan will come slide tackle you, man. Leave you on the floor wounded. Leave you in in a fucked up state of mind, right? Or whatever, what have you, right? So you always got to be sober and vigilant, on the lookout, watching, right? Knowing that Satan's around in everything, right? So this is Ephesians 6:10 says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Right? It says, wherefore take unto you the whole arm of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, having done all to stand. Right? So basically, look, we the battle that we're in. Right, the battle that we're in is, it's a spiritual battle. It's a spiritual battle, and if you haven't got the armor of the Most High, i.e., these scriptures, right, then you're gonna lose that battle. Right, we read Isaiah 33:6 says, knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times. Right, because whilst other people are bugging out, thinking that the chip is the only only answer to eating in the time that's to come, right? Because there's going to be famines in the time to come, right? They're going to think the only solution to that is taking the chip. But hey, if you've got the knowledge, the wisdom, understanding, right? If you've made the Most High your defense, right? If you made Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua your defense, then you ain't gonna you ain't gonna take the chip, which is the mark of the beast, right? This is our second. The point I was making there is the battle that we fight is a spiritual one, right? So, hey, Satan's gonna be jumping all around in different places. Whether it's, hey, my brothers can attest to this, man. 1 minute Satan's on your boss, right? You're like, man, man, fuck this guy, right? Then Satan will jump off of your boss, and you're thinking your boss is cool. Hey, boss has been real cool today. Wagwan. Then you go home, and then now Satan's on your woman, etc., 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 etc. Right? Because Satan's all about in the midst. You have little, incidences that happen in the day. You just know Satan's on someone, or whatever, what have you. Right? It says 2 Corinthians 10:4 says, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, because we ain't fighting a carnal war. Right? We're spiritual men. Right, we just sheep herders and goat herders, I say that as a joke, but this isn't a carnal war. And sometimes I catch myself, when I'm I'll catch myself, thinking about the carnal solution. I'm like, no, that ain't right. That ain't right. Like I'll be going through I'll be going through, a dodgy area, and immediately, and once again, that's Satan. Satan wants you to be carnal, right? Be going through a dodgy area, and immediately I'm just there like, yo man, I've got to be ready to fight this, that, and the other. Where really and truly, first thing that should be in mind is, hey, the Lord's going to protect me from this one way or another. And that protection may be putting some moves some boxing moves that I never knew that I had, but I shouldn't go straight into fight mode. I should go straight into spiritual mode, right? Because we're spiritual men, right? It says, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds, right? Because like I said, we got these everyday demons, everyday guys, but then you also got the elites, right? The elites of of this kingdom, Esau's kingdom, right? They're casting down witchcraft on us, man. Right? It's witchcraft in everything, that we see. You might buy a top, you won't even realize it has some, witchcraft symbols on it. You eat some food, they might have prayed over that food, listen to some music, it's, got some, witchcraft all in it, right? This is Matthew 26:41. It says, watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation, right? You got to watch and you got to pray, right? And that's the thing, you got to pray that the Lord doesn't lead you into certain instances. You got to pray that the Lord will deliver you from other instances, right? Satan could be the most the best example to give. Satan can be a woman, right? Because for the most part you ain't gonna be spending as that's really the person in the world that you spend the most time with. Yeah, you have your work colleagues, but that's a different relationship, right? The person you in the world that you spend most of the time with is your woman. Right, yeah, you might spend the most spiritual time with the brothers, but you'll be with your woman. Your woman's in the world. Even if she says she's in this truth, she's of the world, right? That's why every now and then the pride of life will come and come into her, right? And then she'll start saying some wicked shit. Hey, look at Job's wife. Look at Lot's wife. Hey, scripture say, remember Lot's wife, right? What is that scripture? That was Ecclesiastes talks about shall escape from her. Right, it says Ecclesiastes 7:26 says, and I find more bitter than death a woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as a bands. Whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. Right, it's basically saying one of those demons, that may be set up to try to fuck you, try to tempt with you, right? It could very well be your woman. Right, but the scripture says, if you please the Most High, right, you will escape from her. Which is why people, you'll get caught up. You'll be like, man, I really wanted that chick, but the Lord will have it whereby you never deal with a chick. Whoso pleases the Most High shall escape from it, and that's how you should always look. You should always look at it like that. You have a chick whereby you think it's a dead set, and you will have knowledge I like to give. You have the goal, right? The football goal, and you're ready there. All you have to do is tap it in, and it's a goal. But then something happens, right? Where something, and you're like, fuck, what happened? I thought I was gonna deal with that chick. Hey, who pleases the Most High shall escape from her, right? Proving the point that I was saying about how one of those demons could very well be a woman, right? And also, when I was trying to find some scriptures for this lesson, this scripture came up as well, and I thought I'd touch on it, right? It says 1 Corinthians 7:5. It says, defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time. Right? So basically, if in your relationship, man, you're supposed to, you know, if she wants to get dick down, you got to dick it down. Just like how if you want the box, you got to give it to you. That's just according to according to the scripture here. But of course, we all know in this kingdom it don't work like that. In this kingdom, she says she don't want to give it, you ain't getting anything. Right? If you try get it yourself, then you'll go in jail. Right? And there's no point doing that. So don't be forcing yourself, man. Before we give these other Israelite camps a reason, a reason against us, an occasion against us. Starting off first with the doctrine, and then it will be on the apostles, and then the rest of GMS. So don't be doing that, right? Posters of you on CBS News and CNN and shit. Right, then those guys, we told you about them GMS guys. Right, and then but it goes on to say that you may give yourselves to fasting and prayer and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency. Right, you might you might not be giving her the dick, and then she goes out and gets dick from somewhere else. Not to excuse her, right, because that's wickedness, and the Lord will judge her for that. But it is a temptation, right? So, hey, like I said, in everything, man, ask yourself, not what I said, what the Spirit had one of the Archeum say, one of the older brothers. He was like, where's Satan, man? I was like, yeah, man, it's telling a story. It's like, hey, with me, I'm always thinking, yo, man, where's Satan? And he said it in passing, said a lot of things in that section. He said it in passing, but that was the one thing that really stood out and stuck in my mind, right? So yeah, Lords, you were edified, and then until the next time, I'm gonna say shalom.